How many people watch television? Honestly. I know, after all the things I said, you're going to feel, well, I don't want to say I watch television. Many, many people do watch television. And it's not, it's much more toxic than you realize. I would say for most of the people who have stopped watching television, because there are a lot of people, a lot of Muslims I know, from people like Sheikh Hamza Yusuf talking about television, some other people, I know a lot of people have just shut their televisions off or thrown them out the window, or, you know, my son shot his television. But a lot of people, even the people who have left watching television, many of those people, many of you do not realize how toxic it is to watch even a little bit of it. And we won't go into that, I can't go into that in detail right now, but the nervous system responds very dramatically. And this thing of trauma. I have a friend in Tortola, the islands. Anybody know the islands of Tortola in the British Virgin Islands? And he's someone that lived in the forest for many years. He knows the plants. He was a fisherman, had a boat. He knew all the herbs and plants. He was a natural. He knew how to live naturally and knew nature really extremely well. But he did watch television occasionally, and the only thing he watched was wrestling. WW, whatever it's called. Does anybody know what is it called? WW. What? WWF. And I thought, well, that's very strange. He'd watch this wrestling, and so I thought, well, I've got to understand what this is like. So I said, well, when do you watch? He said, oh, every such and such a time. So I thought, well, I'll watch this with him. And so I sat down, and the thing came on. And how many of you have seen this before? I've seen it. How many of you have seen WWF? You know, before the thing starts, they have all this kind of like, yeah, any place, anything. You know, they do this, all this kind of posturing, being tough, and all this thing before. And so they start out with this, and he's just cracking up. He's just like, oh. And I'm thinking, oh, well, this is what he gets out of it. He just has a good time. He just gets a good laugh out of it. But when they started the wrestling match, and you know how these things work, always at one point, there's one point where there's the good guy and the bad guy. And the bad guy gets the good guy, he's strangling him, and or he knocks the referee. So he's like poking the good guy's eyes out or something. He's doing something just unthinkable. So my friend who's laughing up this side, he jumps up and runs to the TV. He says, "Ref, get up!" Look, you know what I mean? He's completely into it. I'm thinking, what's up with this? You know, he's Mr. Natural. He knows every animal in the forest, and every plant, and every herb. And I realized he's responding appropriately. He's doing what we don't do in this country, which is we sit back and watch. Oh yeah, it's all fake. You know, and now the news comes on. Oh, and how many people were killed in this country by some bloody, terrible thing. Oh, and the new escalade. You know, one follows another. And I mean, that's the kind of toxicity it creates. It's totally dehumanizes. It dehumanizes. And then it's so fragmented that it adds to our own fragmentation. When they bombed Iraq, I watched some of the television to see what was going on, and I thought, my God, how do people do this? If they watch this, they'll be so confused, because there's a little, like 3 seconds of, you know, sound bites from this expert, and then this one over here, and then a commercial, and then another expert, and then someone that's just talking completely off the wall. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, how is anyone going to have any whole understanding of this? So part of the toxicity is in that. Part of the toxicity is in believing that what's happening is real. And living an artificial life, having friends on television, and spending time and experiencing life, but you're not experiencing it with your body. You're not experiencing it with smell, with taste, with sight. That kind of experience that you have by being present. Just as, you know, you can do all sorts of interesting things, video games, whatever, it's not like getting on a horse with the smell of a horse and the feel of the horse and riding that horse. So that's what we have to do, is to be well and to be healthy, we have to come back to being present in our bodies. And Ibn Khaldun historically said the people who become complacent are the people who do not live in their bodies. They become overrun, like the people from Mexico and the people from so-called third world countries. They come in and replace us because we become too complacent and too passive. So you said I should go until 8 and then we have some questions, or? Oh, after Adhan. After prayer we'll have some questions. Okay, so alhamdulillah, I hope that was a little, I kind of wanted to throw something out really quickly to you there. I hope that made sense and you got some continuity out of it.